Spending money when you don't have a full-time salary coming in is a bit of a weird feeling. It's something that you kind of need to overcome if you want something or need something. And in this video, I'm going to share with you our experience of going out to try and find Yvonne, my wife, a laptop yesterday. I'm also going to share with you a little bit of a story about going out for dinner last night as well, and meeting up with some viewers of this channel and a few other little bits and bobs here and there. But it's Sunday and it's just gone 2:30. Yesterday, Saturday, it was time to see if we could finally get Yvonne a laptop and overcome the feelings of spending money that you know is not going to be easy to come by down the road, but sometimes you've got to make a little bit of an investment in yourself as well. And we live a very frugal life at this point. We've left the UK and we're living in Southeast Asia for now, although that's about to change next week. We typically live on a monthly budget of around £1,500 every month, and that covers rent and insurance and mobile phone costs and everything else that goes into it. So spending any kind of money over and above that really needs to be justified. That's how we view these things. Now, Yvonne was on a sabbatical from her job and would have been due to return in July, however has been made redundant at the beginning of this year. Not for the reasons of being on the sabbatical. The entire team that she was working with have been made redundant, around close to 70 people in total. She's just one of them. And Yvonne's never owned a laptop, never had her own computer. It's always been a company issued machine. And that's something that I've always just had, laptops, working with music or making videos and editing content like this. And now that Yvonne's mindset is out of the job, she's starting to think about writing, and one of the things that she wants to focus on is actually writing a blog from her perspective. Many viewers always ask me, like, why does Yvonne not get on this and talk and things? The answer to that is she's just quite shy, just doesn't really want to get involved in this. I joked last night over dinner, if you were to summarise our personalities, I've worked in sales for 30 years and Yvonne worked in IT. And that kind of culminates in our personalities as to who we are. I'm the chatty one and Yvonne's quiet and measured. But she has started a blog and she's been writing it on her phone just now. Actually, we have a tablet with us, an old tablet that belonged to my dad. I'd given him as a Christmas present many years ago, but it's super old. It's not got much space on it. And so the chance yesterday was to go into Kuala Lumpur and try and buy a new laptop. And so we travelled to the TRX Centre, massive mall and the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur, and we went to the Apple store. Now here's a question: if you buy an Apple laptop in Malaysia, is it cheaper than in the UK? Is it going to be a lower cost? Well, I'm going to tell you that in a second. So we hopped in a cab yesterday. Now, to also add to the stress, the plan was to go and buy an Apple laptop for Yvonne, and we've been waiting on the new editions of the iPad Air and the Pros and the Neos coming out. Yvonne's focus was on MacBook Air and the new M5 chip rather than buy a slightly older model. But in the middle of all of that, my phone has also stopped taking a charge in the bottom of it, which was stressing me slightly because today is Sunday, tomorrow we catch a flight out of here to a new destination, and I was panicking slightly. Cable's a bit loose in the bottom, and I thought, well, there's plenty of places that we can take this into. So that was the goal. Get the laptop, try and get the phone fixed, go for dinner, meet people. That was a Saturday, that was the task. We get to the mall, we go straight into the Apple store. Yvonne's face beaming to buy new technology, like a kid at Christmas, you know, something new and shiny and spending some money. We go into the store, we talk to a member of staff. The store is absolutely rammed, like just buzzing. I'd noticed on a news report that Apple had published, yeah, we have these new laptops available. They've landed in Malaysia after announcing them months ago, or a month ago, I think. And the store member of staff was like, yep, I can get this for you. And within minutes, it was delivered to the table. It was paid for through my account, connecting to my Apple device, Yvonne's bank account now. This is Yvonne's money. She was made redundant. She's investing a little bit of that redundancy into new adventures for herself, new ways of developing our mindset, wanting to write a blog, start a Substack and share, particularly for the people that ask, what's Yvonne's thoughts on the life of travel? You always hear about me, you hear from me. Well, Yvonne's going to write her own blog and publish that and share that with you from her perspective, what life has been like leaving the UK, selling all of our possessions, me falling ill, I'm sure, and then just life beyond all of that. And that's what she's been working on her phone for now. So we get the laptop, we get that purchased. Now here's the question, right? Was it cheaper? Well, it came to £880 to buy the Apple MacBook Air Pro. And I can tell you that I had a look on Apple's website last night. It's just on here, and that might be quite difficult to see. For the UK, so £880 in Malaysia, and in the UK, £1,100 for the same laptop. So £220 of a difference between buying it in Malaysia versus the UK. So that feels like a little bit of a win for that. I can almost predict the future for me in the next coming days, which will be, how does this work? What buttons do you press to delete? How do you open a window? I can see the future. And now she's got it. Stood outside the store, with the bag. In fact, here's the bag. The excitement of the Apple bag. And of course, the unboxing experience that if you've ever owned anything Apple, getting the laptop. So now she's ready to go. And unlike most occasions, I would keep a box, right? I'm one of these guys that keeps the box in the loft. There's no loft anymore, and there's no place to keep the box. So we're going to have that packaging separation thing that causes me anxiety, because I'm like, oh, if we ever sell this, you need the box. There'll be no box because we can't take that to our next destination. Look at that pair, look at that pair. God, it makes you look old. God, I just look instantly like my dad. Just look like my dad. After that, we try and get the phone fixed, but unfortunately there's not enough time because we've got dinner booked. Now, I would like to say at this point, we went to a restaurant that we've eaten at a few times before. It's actually where we had the Sunday dinner, the roast Sunday dinner. We went back to the restaurant, The Gavel, which is managed by Denise and her husband Paul. Denise, a Chinese woman who spent a lot of time living in the UK, and her husband Paul from Hull, who's the chef. Now, I got a message from them recently. Paul had stood on a little bit of a kind of seashell on the beach, jagged his foot, and then didn't really think anything of it. Ended up with sepsis. Same as I had, and Denise had been following the channel, and so we were messaging back and forth. I was wishing him well. So he's off his feet right now, trying to recover from a serious medical condition. So to tie this all together, Yvonne and I met Neil and Anna, viewers of the channel, last week when we were in the same mall trying to get Yvonne's laptop then, and it wasn't in stock. And we'd kept in contact with Neil and Anna, and we said, let's go for dinner. It'd be great to meet up with you. So they're viewers of the channel. Neil from the UK and his wife Anna, who's half Greek and half German, which then reminded me of my previous company, German company. So we had exchanged numbers. We went for dinner last night. I said, let's go to the Gavel. So I messaged Denise, got a table, and we went there last night. And I think Yvonne had steak and ale pie, which just looked delicious. I had a breaded chicken breast with noodles, vegetable noodles with it, which was super nice, very healthy. And Anna had fish and chips, which also looked excellent. And then we had a lovely tiramisu as a dessert. Yvonne and I just shared one as a little treat. But we also had a little bit of a glass of white wine, just as a kind of, a cold glass of wine in a warm evening in a restaurant with some new friends, acquaintances, followers of the channel. and spending time chatting to Denise, the manager of the restaurant. The Gavel's just a great spot. If you're looking for somewhere to go, I'm not sponsored by them, right? I'm one of these people that when I like somewhere, I tend to go back to it. So that was the third time we've been to the Gavel now to eat. Great, just enjoyed the food. I saw an award they had up, which in 2025, they'd won a British award for best roast dinner. And that was nice after we had reviewed the roast dinner there last year, also 2025. So well done to the Gavel. It's a coffee and a craft beer restaurant. So I highly recommend it. Go in, tell Denise you saw this video. John, said, mentioned it. Go in there and have dinner. You won't regret it. So we had a lovely meal with Neil and Anna. Yvonne and I celebrated Yvonne's laptop, glass of wine, and then we left. Now, that meant that my phone wasn't fixed. So today I woke up, I haven't had a drink in quite some time. I felt it this morning when I woke up, was a little bit sluggish, but we've been up and we've been to Low Yat, which is the big technology mall. We went in there today and Yvonne got a sleeve for her iPad so that she can travel with it tomorrow when we leave. And I went to a little booth and asked them if they could check the port on the bottom of my phone. And the young guy that was running the counter said 15 ringgit to fix it, which I don't know, it's like £2 or something. So I agreed and he cleaned it out, gave it a good check roundabout inside, pulled out all the fluff and things that's from probably years of carrying. This is an old iPhone 13. Carrying this in my pocket and lint and all that stuff. So we cleaned all that out and now it's charging fine. So that's good news. Haven't had to buy a new phone or anything. So Yvonne's got a laptop, £880. We had a great dinner last night. We split the bill and I think Yvonne and I paid £50 for the dinner. So it was absolute value for Yvonne's steak pie. Oh, looked great. And then we got a cab home. And the cab today, I'll tell you this, right? If you're ever out here in Malaysia, you book it on an app called Grab. It's a bit like Uber. The taxi driver today, I don't think he knew where he was going, and I'm watching him, right? And he's driving along the motorway and he's got his phone in one hand, track the direction to the hotel, the apartment that we're in, and I'm videoing him just having a little nosy. Like, this is one of these cars where you can tell I was saying yesterday's video about my stress levels. That taxi was stressful because the guy was like one eye on the road, one eye on his phone, and I'm like, we're going to end up running at the back of somebody. That's life in Malaysia in a taxi, and probably Southeast Asia in a taxi. Always keeps you on your toes. So that's been a Saturday out. Spent a little bit of money, 880 quid, 50 quid for the dinner, and a few taxis here or there, which were probably £20 in total to go all over the city multiple times. Right, and then tomorrow, we're leaving the country. It's time to exit now that our tourist visa, our 90-day stay tourist visa is coming to an end next week. And maybe the next video or so will be somewhere else. Thanks so much for watching all of this. You can leave me a comment down below. We'll see you next time.